on Armed Radio Global.
So the attitude is not going to speed things up any bit at all. I'm going to ask you to speak into the mouthpiece very clearly.
It's Wednesday night, time for some straight talk. This is your host, Matt Hasley, coming at you. Tried to do a little seamless go from one show to the next. Hopefully it went over pretty good. Having to produce the one before, but good show for Randy and Mike and Kathy. Get your swole on. But special thanks to our sponsors out there. Jimmy John's, if you need a sandwich, freaky fast, freaky good. Yeah, call them. They deliver. Also, Joe wanted me to do a promo for Thea. Thea is going to be on next Tuesday night, and I'm going to be producing her show. So when I get the promo, I'll do it. But I don't have any promo yet. But she is going to be on next Tuesday night at, if I'm not mistaken, it's 9 Central Time, 10 Eastern. Could be wrong. Christopher, welcome to the show. Amy, welcome to the show. Thanks for the thumbs up. But right now, if you can see in the background, this is John Deere Classic Week. This is the local tournament here. It's a PJ Tour event that Hank, welcome to the show. You know, so brings in a lot of money into this area. It's also money that goes for all different types of charities. They brought in a record number last year. Claire Peterson is the tournament director, and I tell you what, I'm hoping Claire, cross my fingers that he has a great tournament. Claire's a great guy. He runs a phenomenal tournament. He is really knows what's going on. Ron, welcome to the show. He makes everything run seamlessly. He had today is one of the days it's where they have sponsors for people that pay to play with the pros, and they have a pro-am. The morning round had a little bit of I think they only got like 9 holes in the morning pro-am round. In the afternoon, I think they got to play. The storms that we had tonight kind of split around us. I don't know how much rain they got there at Deer Run. It was supposed to come right at us. It looked like it was going to hit us. And I can't tell you whether we're going to get any more or not from this storm. I'm just hoping that Deer Run doesn't get, kapowed with this thing, because that's the last thing you want for a golf tournament is to have a ton of rain. Because what happens is a lot of people don't realize the manpower. Carrie, welcome to the show. Carrie Lolita Fire Eyes. People don't realize the manpower it takes to prep bunkers and prep, just they have to cut every day, And if they have water, they got to do is pump it out. All kinds of different problems that come from too much water on the golf course. And the golf course plays a lot longer. So they have to determine setups. And if you have bad weather, it's kind of scary having a bunch of fans out there watching a tournament, and then you get lightning and different stuff like that. So I'm hoping that Claire will have a great tournament. They have like a do's and don'ts list that you don't want to do at the John Deere Classic. And this would be for most tournaments. Virginia, welcome to the show. A lot of times people don't realize what they can bring with them when they come to like a tour event. But they say, with the John Deere Classic being, I think, 40 some years it's been around. It's really actually kind of cool. But a lot of places that are bigger cities don't have an event. So it just tells you the patronage and support that this area gives to this event to keep it, to keep this event alive year after year. Years ago, it was Ed McMahon Quad City Open, going back. And it just tells you how this thing has evolved. Ever since John Deere became its parent sponsor, the tournament has kind of like gone, rocketed up there. It's, John Deere being the corporate officer here, it really has been a great marriage between the two. But you look at, they say, this is different things that you can and cannot bring with you. No firearms or any weapons of any nature. That's pretty much a given. Even with a permit. Even if you have a weapons permit, you can't bring one with you. It's a felony. So, people need to do is pay attention. No cameras Thursday through Sunday. So you can bring them on the practice round days and you can bring them on the Pro-Am day, but Thursday through Sunday, no. The only problem is everybody's phone pretty much has a camera. No bags larger than a small purse, 6 by 6 by 6, including lawn chair bags or umbrella sleeves. No posters, signs, or banners. So you can't bring out there, go, whatever, no coolers, or actually coolers and beverages other than sealed water bottles or special items such as baby formula. I don't know why you want to bring a baby to a golf tournament anyway. It's dangerous. But it said there are stringent rules for mobile devices. So people bring a phone and stuff like that. Devices must be on silent at all times. Calls may be placed or answered only in designated cell phone zones. Devices may not be used to capture audio, video at any time during the tournament week. During practice and Pro-Am rounds, photography is permitted in these areas, in all areas. So, I just got a text from my son who is at Fort Knox, Kentucky. So, cool. He gave me his address. Awesome. So we can write to him. I think that's, I don't know if he's going to be able to do too much. You just sent me another one. I didn't get that one. Awesome. So good. Yeah, so I don't know how they're going to be able to do too much phone calls. He has been trying to communicate as much as he can. I don't know if they're going to take their phones away. So he is on a, what you would call, I don't know if it's plebes basic or something like that. It's cadet basic for being an officer at Valley Forge Military Academy or Military College. Kevin, welcome to the show. So I just hope we have a great tournament, have a really competitive event. I love to see some great golf to come out and win this thing. They also have going on this week is the ladies have the LPGA. They have their their Women's U.S. Open, and it's at Bedminster in New Jersey. And a lot of people have, it doesn't start till tomorrow, of course, but a lot of people have been, a lot of complaints that it's a Donald Trump course. And that, he talked about possibly going to the event. But I hope he doesn't because he overshadows the event. Just having a president go there, not because it's Donald Trump or anybody, just any president. When they go there, it's just so overwhelming. Presence of trying to, security and everything like that. But, a lot of people want to move the event because they're like, this is way back. They wanted him to move the event because it was a Donald Trump course. Because, they talked about his comments about women and stuff, and I don't think he has anything against women, but they want to pound that drum. So I mean, look at the women that were his wife at the G20, his daughter at the G20. He first woman to successfully run a campaign for president. She gets no recognition out of it. So I guarantee you, if it would have been a lady that would have run a Democrat and won, they would be like, wow, it's the first woman that ever run a campaign. So I don't know. I don't think she gets, Kellyanne Conway gets the credit that she deserves. So, but before I get out of that, Mike Davis, they having press conferences. Mike Davis, who is the USGA president, was absent. And I probably don't blame him, because all they want to do is pound about why they're there at Bedminster, this Donald Trump course. And I'm like, I don't blame him. Let it be about golf. My biggest thing is not whether we should be talking about whether Trump's going to go to Bedminster or not. My question is, they talked about John Rahm with the ruling. And do I think it was a correct ruling? No, I don't think so. Watching the video, John Rahm misplaced his ball. For the rules official to sit there and say, well, it was not intended, we're not going to penalize him. I'm sorry, but if it's a penalty, did Dustin Johnson intend to move his golf ball in the PGA? Was it not last year? I think it was the year before. No. And they still penalized him. But to sit there and not play it in the right place, I think it was wrong. You can look at it and you can see that it was played from a wrong place, and he should have been penalized. It wouldn't have affected him winning the tournament anyway, because they would have penalized him. He had like a 6 or 7 shot lead, so it's not like it was going to cost him. But I think it was a penalty. I think that the PGA Tour or the R&A, whoever was running the Scottish Open event, made a mistake. The problem is, you need to do is keep that. There should be no interpretation in the rules. The interpretation should be, yes, it's a violation. No, it's not a violation. There should be no gray area where the guy goes, well, if he didn't have any intentions, all the person has to say, I never intended to do that. I never intended to accidentally bump the ball. No, I'm sorry. Either it's a violation or it's not a violation. A lot of people felt that how could Lexi Thompson get penalized 4 shots when she had no intentions of it either? The biggest thing also about Lexi is, why did they ever let somebody call in? Yeah, that's a stupid thing. There should never be anybody. I should not be able to pick up the phone and get the PGA Tour office and say, that person made a mistake and played from a wrong place. They should have nothing to do with it. The average viewer, it's like me going, hey, that's not a first down in football, or that, whatever, that guy did this, or that guy was safe on first base. No, I can't do that in any other sport. I can't call in boxing. I can't call in UFC and say that guy did a legal move. I can't do anything. I can't do it in soccer. There is no sport besides golf that allows anybody to call in and make a complaint that they violated a rule. It's, they dropped that illegally. That's makes no sense. I think that's stupid. Bobby, welcome to the show. But they had the All-Star game last night. Not a big thing. I didn't watch it. But my Cubs end up losing the game. Joe Madden actually brought in Wade Davis, the only Cub that made the All-Star game. He brought him in the 10th inning and gives up a home run, which actually cost him. But my personal opinion, it should not be the winning of the game determines home field advantage, because one manager might try to do is play people so much harder than another one and could cause injuries. They're not getting paid any extra to play in this thing. Or they might not play anybody. You know, they might sit people, only play certain people. You know, I just think that it shouldn't be the outcome determines the home field advantage. I think it should be rotate every year. I think it should be just back and forth each year. And it's the luck of the draw whether your team is, you know, whether you're going to have home field advantage or not. I did want to talk about, we had a couple of incidents that were, we had one incident here where we had two teenagers. They were kids. They murdered their stepmother. They apparently took a gun, got home, said, "Here, put this over your face, cover your face. I got a surprise for you." And when she put a towel over her head, the girl shot her in the head, killed her. And then they lit the house on fire. I don't know, they're trying to, hide the evidence or whatever. But I was looking at an article here about it, and it just, when they were talking about it, when they talked about the fire and everything, Nick, welcome to the show. I was like, this sounds either like, and you look at the house was not burnt that bad. So whatever it is, they expected the house to go up, and it didn't. But they arrested these kids, and they get, I don't know what draws you to murder somebody like that. Nick, he lives closer than I do to Morrison. I'm sure he's probably heard more about it than I have. But it's just sad to see that, somebody would sit there and say, "Hey, I got a surprise for you." Yeah, that's a surprise. This lady had no idea. She's 50-some years old, 53, I think she was, and gets shot and killed. Takes a 38 to the head. Mario, welcome to the show. But we also had another thing that I wanted to talk about. Right now, it's so hot here. We got high heat and humidity. But I did want to talk about, they had, what your temperatures have to be for your, for a hot car. We have, let me see if I can find an article on it. It was showing how quickly it takes for your car to heat up. Let's see here. They had here I got two of them. They had this is coming from an incident where they had just recently they had people that have killed their kid, and I call it kill your kid because when they leave their kid in a car like that, they're intentionally try to do is let the kid die from the heat. It just bothers the heck out of me when that happens. But let me see if I can find the one here. And it talks about how I just had it. Let's see here. It was talking about how hot. Oh, crap. Where'd it go? Oh, okay. So we're going to talk about this incident first, and then we'll get into how hot it gets to your car, how quickly your car can heat up. But This happened in South Daytona, Florida. A Florida woman is facing charges after police said she left her child in a hot car and then told police it was hot when they put her in the back of a police cruiser. Imagine that. It said police were called to a Dollar General in South Daytona last week for a report of a child left in a vehicle. Lynn, welcome to the show. They said they found a 5-year-old and a locked Hyundai alone, with the front driver's side window down and both passenger side windows rolled up. The rear driver's side window was slightly open. The car was parked in direct sunlight without any shade. Police said the boy appeared upset and was sweating profusely. Police dash cam video captured the interaction between the mother and officers and firefighters. He wasn't in the car for 2 hours. It was like 12 minutes, the lady said. She told police as she walked out of the store, adding their son had wanted to stay in the car while she shot. Don't get all huffy and puffy because I'm going to feel bad for you. I don't care, the firefighter said. The witness who called 911 said the child was left for about 20 minutes and the child was crying and screaming. The manager in the store told police that she'd been walking around the store for nearly 30 minutes. Surveillance camera showed the lady in the store for about 30 minutes with her 3-year-old daughter. A firefighter told her her son was lucky to be alive. He says, we get cases where 10 to 15 minutes the kid is dead. That's what the firefighter told her. The South Daytona Fire Department checked the temperature in the vehicle, which was 107 degrees. The child's vitals were checked and he was okay. Police said she was being driven to the jail. Walker told officers to put the air conditioning because it was too hot. It said she was complaining that the backseat of the patrol cars were too hot on her way to the jail and asked an officer to turn up the AC up. She's facing child neglect charges and was jailed on $5,000 bail. And she could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted, which I don't think she'll probably get. But people don't realize how quickly the temperatures go up. And these are quotes by experts. It said children have died in cars with temperatures as low as 63 degrees outside. It's because basically the car becomes a greenhouse. At 70 degrees on a sunny day, after a half hour, the temperatures in the car are 104. After an hour, it's 113. When the temperatures outside reach 80 degrees to 100 degrees, the temperature inside a car parked in direct sunlight can quickly climb between 130 and 172 degrees. It says in terms of heat rises over time, it makes very little difference whether the car's windows are closed or partially open. In both cases, a car's interior temperature can rise approximately 40 degrees within an hour, even when the exterior temperature is only 72 degrees. Imagine that. That's how quickly. And that's from the American Academy of Pediatrics study. Even on a relatively cool day, the temperature inside a parked car can spike to life-threatening levels if the sun is out. Researchers at Stanford University of Medicine have found they hope their findings will put to rest the misconception that parked car can be a safe place for a child or pet in mild weather. It said there are no cases of children dying on days as cool as 70 degrees Fahrenheit, said the lead author, Catherine McLaren, MD, clinical instructor in emergency medicine. Though past research has documented temperatures spike inside a car on extremely hot days. This is the first time anyone has looked at cooler days, she's added. So, it says there are cases, not there are no cases. I'm sorry. But it says never leave your pet in a parked car when your outside temperature is above 70, not even with the windows partly down, not even in the shade, not even for a quick errand. dogs and cats can't sweat like humans. They pant to lower their body temperature. If they're inside a car, recycling very hot air, panting gives no relief, and heat stroke can happen quickly. People don't think that about animals. They don't think heat stroke can permanently damage a pet's health very rapidly. The change of only a few degrees to a dog's normal body temperature can quickly result in a coma, organ dysfunction, permanent brain damage, or even death. Well, we've had people that are out jogging before by the golf course on really hot days, and they'll go down because of heat stroke. Heat stroke comes on so quickly. If you don't stay hydrated, you can become dizzy and drop you. And you know, it doesn't prove anybody to be weak when that happens. It just happens. I mean, it's one of those deals. But they had a car temperature pet safety chart. If it's 95 degrees in 10 minutes, that car is going to be 114. In 30 minutes, it's 129. So really pay attention. Don't leave your kids in the car. Don't leave your pets in the car. Think about it. You wouldn't want to be left in the car yourself. So, you know. Tammy, welcome to the show. Yeah, so, you know, you always see this about, you know, the dangers of the temperatures. But you sit yourself in that car for 10 minutes with the windows down and see how hot it is. You're not going to like it. So just think what it does to a young kid or a pet. So it can be very, very dangerous very quickly. We had, speaking of, you know, things going on, and this drives me nuts. I hate to hear these stories, but these parents in Utah taunted their daughter with food before she died of abuse and starvation. As the police in Utah said, the parents of a toddler who died of abuse and starvation tortured the girl by waving food just out of her reach. What is wrong with people? Why? You know, it's the scary part is how they're able to reproduce. That kid is just tortured to death. I was in the military. I was an MP down in Texas, and we had an individual who tortured his stepson to death. I don't know if he was dead when he buried him, but he was either that or shortly after. I was there when they dug the body up 30 days after after it finally got out that he had killed his stepson. I have that haunts me for my life, you know, for the rest of my life, to be there witnessing them dig up that body at night. It was that freaky scene where they got the spotlights and everything, and it's just something that haunts me to this day. I could smell it right now. I just don't understand what people can do to kids and other humans, and think that they have no remorse. So, yeah, that's one of my big pet peeves. Is I don't understand child abuse. I don't understand. It just makes no sense. I don't understand guys beating women. Doru, welcome to the show. Yeah, just something wrong with people when they do that. And women, if guys beating on you, get out. Leave them. Because I tell you what, oh, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. They will do it again. The minute you piss them off again, they'll do it again. Leave them. It's not worth staying there. Something's going to happen to you if you don't. I'm serious. So, you know, they got talking about weird stuff going on. We had this is a freaky story here, but this came out of the New York Post. There was a woman was eating lunch at Peter Luger Steakhouse in Brooklyn, took a bite out of another diner's arm on Sunday. Imagine that, sitting there and all of a sudden you just reach over and take a bite out of your arm. Apparently the incident unfolded around 4:10 p.m. inside South Williamsburg Staple as stunned patrons were chowing down after biting the 50-year-old woman. The hungry suspect fled the restaurant, and first responders treated her victim at the scene. Police said the attack appeared to be unprovoked. No arrests have been made. What the heck? You wonder, because they say the human bite is probably one of the nastiest. So, even worse than a dog bite. The disease that's in your mouth. So, yeah, I've heard of people being that way, cannibalism or whatever, stuff like that, but to want to have to bite somebody like that, that's weird. They had a teen charged with assault. People don't think it's anything, but says a teen in Canada was charged with assault after tossing a piece of pizza at a bystander from his car window. Police said the 18-year-old lobbed a slice of pizza out of the car window at a man standing outside of his property. The pizza did not strike the man, landed harmlessly on the ground, but later called the police to report the incident. Well, I don't know if you'd be called assault. Maybe charge him with littering, but because you never know, he might not have been trying to throw it and hit him. And here's kind of a comical one, I think. All right, so if you got a friend that gets arrested for drunk driving, well, apparently a driver in Louisiana was arrested while attempting to bail out her friend, who earlier had been arrested for drunk driving. So if you're drunk, don't go to the police station to bail out a drunk driver. It said Slidell Police Department said officers pulled over a car full of drunks on Saturday night and arrested the driver. He was charged with DWI. Pamela, welcome to the show. After about an hour, police secured the offending vehicle in the parking lot, and the passengers took a cab ride home. The woman decided to return to the scene, pick up the vehicle, and get her friend out of jail. Not a good idea, because she then drives to the Slidell Police Department in order to bail out her friend. Instead of bailing out her friend, she was able to join him inside the jail. Apparently not in the same cells, but upon arrival at the police department, the woman was arrested for drunk driving. Imagine that. And police hope she learned a valuable lesson. Less than a day, don't drive drunk to a police station in order to bail out your friend who's drunk. Of course. But when you're intoxicated, you're probably not using most of the brain cells, and you probably burn off a lot of the ones that you needed. So, they also, here's a story about Florida police find a Cookie Monster doll. Well, what's unique about this Cookie Monster doll, which is not normal for most Cookie Monsters, what they found was cocaine stashed inside of it. A large amount of cocaine is stuffed inside. Apparently, Monroe County Sheriff's Office in the Florida Keys, I always wonder why they call it the Keys of cocaine, maybe, shared a photo of the doll and the 2 packages of cocaine that were found hidden inside the vehicle after stopping the driver for dark tinted windows, obscuring his license plate. Said Deputy Swilly could smell the odor of marijuana coming from inside the car. A search of the vehicle turned up a backpack. Inside the backpack was a Cookie Monster doll. The deputy noticed the stuffed Cookie Monster was heavier than it should have been. A cut slit in the doll, revealing 2 bags in which contained 314 grams of cocaine. Police said the paperwork inside the backpack indicated the drugs belonged to the driver, 39-year-old, who was arrested and charged with trafficking cocaine, not possession of a Cookie Monster doll. No. You know, it just amazes me how many times somebody will get pulled over for either DUI or they'll get pulled over for not using the turn signals, or they got a license plate light out, or they don't stop completely, or they're speeding. And the minute they pull them over, it smells like marijuana in their car. Not good to have if you're going to be committing other offenses. That's about the last thing that you want to do. It says, we can only have, my son just sent me a text, we can only have our phones at night, so I won't be able to text you around 10 my 9 your time. Well, that's good. I'm texting him back. I told him, I said, if he wants, he can call in now. I don't know if he wants to go on the air. He's a little shy. He shouldn't be, but he might be. So, well, other things that are going on in the news. Let's see here. We got, I like this one. Florida woman, she's sick and tired of people selling drugs around her neighborhood. So what does she do? She puts a sign out. I don't know if it's going to help any, but she put a sign out for them to stop buying coke or drugs, parking outside her house and buying drugs. So hopefully that helps. But some people, they just ignore it. So, but I don't think they're going to pay much attention to it. Probably will destroy the sign. But here's a weird story. Imagine when I was a kid, I never thought at this age that you'd be driving a car. Well, apparently, 11-year-old girl pulled over for speeding. Texas police said they pulled over a car for going 45 in a 35-mile-per-hour zone and found an 11-year-old girl behind the wheel with her 10-year-old brother in the passenger seat. But when police contacted the mother, they found out that the girl had permission to drive unsupervised. Not a good response probably for the mother. Apparently, Vance Mitchell, the Pasadena Police Department located near Houston, said that the children had been at their aunt's house when instead of driving them back home, the aunt asked their mother, who's 25-year-old Maria de Jesus Lopez, if the girl could just drive herself and her brother back home. Lopez agreed, and her 11-year-old daughter climbed into the Dodge Durango and stepped on the gas. So, think about how dangerous that is. So when police pulled her over for speeding, she denied it. Thank God no one was injured in the vehicle or in public. So the length of the drive between her aunt and her mom's house is about 2 or 3 miles. The girl said it hadn't been the first time she's drove, but it was the first time driving without adult supervision. Even that, you can't at 11. You can't let an 11-year-old kid. I mean, if that kid's driving on your property, that's different. But to drive out on the street at 11 doesn't fly. So, luckily, no one was injured. They're also, speaking of young brothers apologize for prank calling the police 25 times. This happened in Texas also. A Texas department shared the apology notes handed in by two young brothers who prank called the department 25 times. I gotta send my... He says he don't want to call in. He's got to go to bed. So, yeah, it's probably a good idea. It's 11:15 here, 12:15 there. So, the Fulshire Police Department posted photos of handwritten notes on Facebook explaining the two elementary school-aged children had been brought to the station by their mother. The notes apologized for sending police to various homes without reason. So, to the police department, this is the first note, it says, the reason why I called you 25 times are because I thought it was funny to call you and send you to the wrong house, to make you think that people in the house did it, and because I did not want to go to bed. I'm very sorry for calling you all those times. Could you forgive me and allow me to stay in this house without sending me to jail? I promise that this is never going to happen again in my whole life. The author of the second note echoed his brother's sentiments to the police department. I'm very sorry that I called you when there wasn't any emergency. We kept saying the wrong address to trick you. We did it because we thought it was funny. Please forgive me. I will do anything to get out of jail. If you send me there, I want to stay home. I would never do that again. So, said the Facebook post that officers at the station accepted the apologies. We all make mistakes. It's how we own those mistakes that makes us whole again. We commended their mom and immediately accepted their apologies. Their sad faces turned into smiling faces as they exited the station. The post said, we have to admit we were smiling as well. Because the handwritten notes are kind of cute. But luckily, no problem came up. You know, they have those incidents of swatting. You hear that? Where people are playing video games, and what they do is they get them to raid the other person's house because they say that they're whatever, and, you know, something happened like that, and then they go barging into somebody's house, knock down the door. I mean, that can be pretty stressful, being in there playing a video game, and they're listening to you live, or you're streaming it. And then somebody comes, the police break down the SWAT team coming into your house, kick the door in, and you get taken down live on TV. People think it's funny when they do that, but it's very dangerous. So they had, let's see here. Oh, we got some new technology, which I think is kind of scary. It says new technology allows... And it allows them to kind of lip sync your voice. They did it with President Obama in 4 different videos. They used his voice and were actually able to do is sync it to make it look like he was actually saying something that he wasn't. That's the scary part of it. It's some technology. They actually also have technology out to where they can take your voice, and all they got to do is listen to your voice for, like, let's say somebody does a speech, a politician. They could use that speech, feed it into a computer, and they could make it say anything they want and make it sound like you. That's really scary. So, what's going to happen out of that, down the road? They use that, as evidence against somebody. How do you know? How do you know it's not real or not? So, but it says new technology enables scarily realistic lip sync Obama video, and this is what they did. This is an article out of the Telegraph UK. I mean, it's not. President Obama was not saying this. It was used from one speech into another speech. It looked like he was, like they were making it sink into multiple different speeches at different times. So it's pretty weird. I don't know how they're able to do that. Just it's just weird some of the things that they can do. They had. Speaking of technology, this happened, and this is kind of weird. This is an odd story here. Public restroom using facial recognition to ration.
We had this plan to go to the hottest place on Earth, harness the energy from the...
It's to ration toilet paper. Think about that. So what they're going to do is officials in Chinese city are saving money on toilet paper and public restrooms by employing facial recognition technology. So you can't use too much because they'll be able to do is see who you are. So a video of the system installed in Fujian province. Public restroom shows workers filling a lock dispenser machine filling a lock dispenser machine with toilet paper before a customer demonstrates how the mechanism works. The machine uses facial recognition software to identify the user and vends exactly 27.5 inches of toilet paper, the maximum allowed by the machine. So, official said the user must wait 9 minutes before the machine will allow them to get another length of paper. They said that the system has cut out the amount of toilet paper used in restrooms by half. So, what happens if you really got to go? You better be. I could see people carrying the one wipe Charlies with them. You ever seen that? That's on a different program. They do different commercial for some shave products, but they do one wipe Charlies. Hey, you never know. You might have to do is clean up the mess. So, 27.5 inches, I don't know if that's enough. So, you better be safe than sorry. Always be prepared. Be like a Boy Scout or Boy Scout, whatever it is. So, or like a Army. That's what I was. So, this is kind of a weird... This is speaking of technology, robots debate future of humans at Hong Kong Tech Show. I said it was a spooky sight. Two lifelike disembodied robot torsos discussing the pros and cons of humans in front of nervously tittering audience in Hong Kong Wednesday. Imagine that, robots talking about taking over the world, and what is that? But, talking about, what was going to talk about, tech show, but no, it was another article I had that, I can't, maybe I got it wrote down here. Let me see here. I put it somewhere. What is it? Sunday is free ice cream from McDonald's. And then they also have, we have a Whitey's ice cream here. They have a chance where you can actually win free ice cream for a year. I'm not that much into ice cream, but I'm sure somebody would love to win that. They had, let me see here. I must have. I don't know what I did with that article. Oh, no, here it is. You got those, this is one case where the smart device, the home device, worked out. I was talking about you get a husband or whatever that beats you, get out of the house. Well, apparently there was a domestic going on, and one of the smart home devices alerted police during a domestic violence incident. It actually called. It said a smart home device called the police during alleged domestic violence in New Mexico. ABC News reports that during the domestic assault at home in New Mexico the week the smart home device and the residents contacted the local sheriff's office. It said, Eduardo Barros was house sitting with his girlfriend and her daughter near Albuquerque, New Mexico. Last week, when a couple got into an argument, they allegedly became physical, according to Deputy Felicia Romero, a spokesman for the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department. Barros allegedly threatened to kill his girlfriend and brandished a firearm. At one point, asking her, "Did you call the sheriff?" The audio was picked up by the smart speaker connected to the home surveillance or surround sound system, which recognized "call the sheriff's" as a command and properly called emergency services. Luckily, he said that. I'm wondering why they don't have it to where they would dial 911 and then listen in. So, you look at those. I always worried about those things being invasive, but that's one time that it worked out as being very good. So, yeah, I don't think this guy should, It said Barros, however, refused to leave the house, resulting in an hour-long standoff involving crisis negotiators and a SWAT team. The SWAT team successfully took Barros into custody without any casualties. Bernalillo County Sheriff Manuel Gonzalez III told ABC News in a statement, "The unexpected use of this new technology to contact emergency services helped save a life. The amazing technology definitely helped save a mother and her child from a very violent situation. Hopefully, she's smart and stays away from this guy." Said ABC News reports that the court documents state that Barros is now facing charges of possession of a firearm or destructive device by a felon. So, that's one of those deals where it doesn't matter what law you enact. This guy knew he wasn't supposed to have a firearm, and he still had one. So, they have a new guy set up a new push-up record. My son, he can do push-ups all day long. It's amazing. But this guy, let me see if I can find the article here. And he's not a young pup either. That's what got me. Is he, let's see here. 52 years old. He set up 20, he says, 52-year-old man from Wales set a new world push-up record by completing more than 2,500 push-ups in an hour. 2,500. I don't know how you count those because that's just amazing. 2,500 push-ups. That's unbelievable. This guy must just be a machine. I had one of those guys in my my company that just could do. He would do in 2 minutes. He would do like 100 and some push-ups. It was crazy. He looked like one of the pistons going. He was just so fast. Just unbelievable. It's just amazing. You see some of the athletic feats that people can do. So, well, it's that time. It's almost that time of the night. We, special thanks to our sponsors out there, Jimmy John's once again. Also, we have HotSauceVault.com. Check out Louie at HotSauceVault.com. He's got Hottest of the Hot, Wimpy for the Wimpy fans. You name it. He's got gag gifts, got everything. Also, StrikeHardGear.com. Another one of our sponsors. Emily, welcome to the show. We're about ready to call it a night here, but we special thing. We got shows going on. We have, and I know I will. If I try to read off all the shows, I'll just hamburger it up. So I just know I'm on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. Monday and Friday I'm on at 9 p.m. Central, 10 Eastern. On Wednesday night, I'm on at 10 Central, 11 Eastern, and I produce several of the shows. I'll be on Night Talk with Joe Rocks tomorrow and produce that. And I produce the Get Your Swole on right before I come on tonight. And I also produce Just a Thought with Hans and Victor on Thursday night after Night Talk with Joe Rocks. And I'll be producing the new show on Tuesday night, which is Thea. So hopefully when she gets her new promo, we'll be able to do is throw that at you too. But got a bunch of new stuff coming on with ARM Radio. So make sure you do is click on our sponsors, click on our shows, listen to us throughout the day. You can get that on tunein.com. You can get ARM Radio Global. You can see it many different ways. You can get us on your smartphone, tablet, anything. You can listen to us all day long. So make sure you do is interact with us on Facebook, Twitter, you name it. ARM Radio 1 on Twitter. Also, you can get me anywhere on Facebook and Spreaker replays. But there's tons of different ways to get in contact with us. And also Ustream TV. So thanks to everybody. Have a good night. And what we'll do is we'll see you on, tomorrow night on Night Talk with Joe Rocks. So we're going to go out with a little bit of this music.